Today, we are going to talk about an idea from Slavoj Žižek that completely messes with what we think of as real. What if the world we see, the one we touch and live in, is just a tiny ripple on the surface of something much, much deeper?
Welcome to Doctorates of the Absurd, your provider of belief on demand.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle the whole VR illusion. Then we'll get into what the virtual really is, the engine room of reality. After that, we'll look at a major conflict in this idea, see what it means for our own minds, and, finally, try to see the whole world in a totally new light.
Okay, let's start with something we all get, right? Virtual reality. You strap on a headset and boom, you're in a different world. Seems simple enough. But according to Žižek, if that's what you think virtual means, you're missing the entire point.
In fact, Žižek calls it a miserable idea. Ouch. And why? Well, because it's just a copy. It's an imitation of a reality that's already here. It's like a photocopy of a masterpiece. It completely misses the true, explosive power of what the word virtual actually points to.
So let's just toss that whole VR headset idea out the window for a minute. We're not talking about virtual reality. We are talking about something way bigger, the reality of the virtual. This isn't about fake worlds. This is about the engine room that actually builds the real world.
And here's the core difference, side by side. On the left, you've got the copy, the imitation. But on the right, that's the good stuff. The virtual isn't a copy. It's the source code. It's not a fake reality. It's the massive field of potential that our reality is born from.
Žižek gives this incredible example from an old film. Imagine a scene where gold coins are being poured over a king. The plates they're pouring from are clearly empty, but the gold just keeps coming. That impossible flood, that excess that has no physical cause, that's the virtual, breaking through into our world.
So the most important thing to get is this. The virtual is not unreal. It's a real force that structures everything. Think of it like a whirlpool in a river. The center of the whirlpool isn't a thing, right? It's an empty point. But that empty point dictates the entire flow of the water around it. The center is virtual, but its effect on the actual water is totally, undeniably real.
Okay, and this is where it gets really wild. We're used to thinking that particles, little solid bits of stuff, are the most basic building blocks of reality. But this idea flips that completely upside down. It says the waves, the fields of pure potential, are what's truly fundamental. And the particles we see? They're just the points where those waves of possibility cross paths and pop into existence. The potential is more real than the thing itself.
Now, this whole concept isn't exactly neat and tidy. Actually, Žižek points out that there's a huge, unresolved fight right in the middle of this idea. He calls it a philosophical civil war.
And the entire war boils down to one huge question. Which one comes first? Is it a chicken or the egg situation? Does the real, physical world create these virtual effects? Or does a vast, virtual field of potential create our physical world? And believe me, the answer changes everything.
So, logic number one. This side says, we start with the actual, material world. People, cars, swords, whatever. They clash and interact. And out of that real physical mess, an immaterial, virtual effect is born. Think about a battle. The actual event is the clashing of steel and bodies. But ideas like bravery or victory, those are virtual effects produced by the real thing. The virtual is basically a shadow cast by the actual.
But then you've got the second, much crazier logic. This one says, no, the virtual comes first. It's this infinite ocean of pure potential, of pure becoming, and our entire reality, you, me, the planets, everything, is just one possible outcome. We are just one little wave that managed to form and solidify out of that endless ocean. Here, the actual is just a tiny speck pulled from the virtual.
Okay, so philosophical civil war. Who cares, right? Why does this abstract debate matter? Well, because it totally reframes the one thing you thought you knew for sure, your own mind. Because here's the kicker. Your mind isn't just the squishy gray stuff between your ears. It never has been. It's always been a network that stretches out into the world, into our tools. I mean, think about it. Writing didn't replace our memory, it just externalized it. Computers don't replace our ability to think, they externalize calculation. All our technology, from a simple pen to the most advanced AI, isn't replacing our minds, it's just extending.
And here comes the paradox, which is just fantastic. The more we hand off our mental tasks to these external machines, our memory to a hard drive, our math to a calculator, the less we're defined by those abilities. But this doesn't make us less human.
It's the exact opposite. It strips away all the functional junk and forces us to face what's left, the core of our being, a pure, empty potential. By letting our machines do the thinking, we actually become more free.
Okay, let's tie this all together. When we shift our whole viewpoint away from static things, from being, and towards this dynamic, flowing potential, towards becoming, we can see our entire world in a new way.
And honestly, there's no better way to get this than with a modern analogy. Think about an AI art generator. Inside that AI is something called a latent space. It's a mind-bogglingly huge, virtual field of potential for every single image it could ever possibly create. That's the virtual. Then you type in a prompt, right? A sad robot eating a taco in the rain. That prompt is the act of actualization. And the one specific, weird picture it generates, that's our single actual reality.
So to make it super clear, the AI's latent space is the virtual. Your text prompt is the actualization, and the final image is the actual. Our reality might just be one image that got generated from an infinitely vast latent space of possibilities. Kind of blows your mind, right?
And this leads to such a beautiful final thought. You ever wonder why a truly great piece of art or a revolutionary idea feels like it's always new, no matter how old it is? It's because it's not just sitting there in the actual world. It has a direct line to the virtual. It's tapping into that eternal field of potential. And that's why its newness can literally never run out.
So I'll leave you with this. If our entire reality is just one possibility made real, one text prompt, one image pulled from an infinite database, it really just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else is possible?